Hi friends, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Katelyn and I like to film eyeshadow palette ranking and review videos, as well as the occasional other beauty content sprinkled in. So if you like indie makeup, if you like eyeshadow, if you like me, I highly recommend that you hit that subscribe button because I post videos on a, in particular frequency. I said in particular and I meant in particular. Anyways, as you can see by today's title, we are ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes that I used in the month of May. That is correct. Every eyeshadow palette I used. Not just new palettes, not just old palettes. Every eyeshadow palette that I reached for in the month of May. So let's go ahead and get on into it. If at any time you find yourself enjoying this video, please hit that like button and let's get some business taken care of. So my wig was just sloppily thrown on. If I look like I just woke up or my makeup's all smudged, just because I did take a nap on the couch and then woke up, my husband took the baby to his mom's house and I have like half an hour to film. So anywho, that's why I look the way that I look. I just threw the wig back on and I was like, let's do this thing. If you're curious about the wig, it is Ophelia Apricot from Chelsea Smith Crowns. I don't think it's available anymore. But anywho, let's talk about the ranking style that I do in case you're new. So I have 4 categories. First category are palettes that like, meh, if they fluttered away from my collection, wouldn't care. Oh shoot, hold on. No, that was correct. I changed the 4th category and I couldn't remember because for a while I was doing like palettes I want to declutter and I felt like I didn't really have things in that category a lot. So I think I changed it to that now. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, so that is the first category. Second category are palettes that I like. There's like maybe minor critiques, but overall I like them. And then next category are palettes that I love. I love them, highly recommend them, think they're amazing. And then last category is palettes that I consider holy grail favorites. Like they are top tier. And then I used only 8 different palettes in the month of May, which is a crazy number for me. Normally I use like 30, but I only did my makeup 11 times. So there we go. Anyways, let's get started with palettes that I feel meh about. So in the 8th spot, we have the Byredo Mineralscapes palette. I like this palette more than I did last month. Still don't like it a whole heck of a lot, especially when the price tag is factored in. These are very smooth shadows. I think I mentioned this in my last ranking video where I had used this palette, but as the day goes on and your oils kind of like of your eyelids sort of mix with it, it wears really nicely. It does look really pretty. It is luxurious feeling, but I just wanted like a little bit more from it and it doesn't quite give me what I want. And since it's my ranking, that's where I'm at. But yeah, so that's how I feel about that one. It sucks because I spent a lot of money on that so it's not fun to be able to be like, could have not bought that and been just as happy. In fact, happier because I would still have $100 some odd in my pocket. Anyways, next up we have the Sigma Cool Neutrals palette. This was one of the new palettes for May. It was a bit of a disappointment, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't posted the looks that I've done with this palette yet, but I do have a video coming where it's revisiting the palettes that I purchased for May. I did post a poll asking you guys if you still wanted to see the April one because I have it filmed but haven't edited yet, and the majority of you do. So I will be posting that video next, I believe. Anyways, this palette, it's fine. It's fine. It's just not... It's not special. It doesn't get me going. I will say the shade Thunder, I do actually really like that shade. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I really did not need to purchase this. I thought the packaging was cool. The pics on social media of it looked really cool. I thought like, oh, this is going to be a good neutral palette for me. I think my issue with it is that there's not a light enough matte for me. So if you are a deeper complexion, maybe take my review with a grain of salt. But yeah, there's just not, it's just all like Harvest and Fossil, I wouldn't say are mid-tone, but they're not quite light enough for a transition shade on somebody as fair as I. So yeah, It's all right. But even then, I don't know that it blends as easy or as well. I don't know. There's just something about it. I'm just like, just doesn't wow me. Next category, we have palettes that I like. And that is the Viseart Paris Reverie Étendue. I was gifted this palette in PR. No obligation to post or use it or mention it, but look how cute that packaging is. This palette is a very pretty, like, springy, neutral palette. I think it's really fun. I like the shimmer shades. What's funny to me is this costs a lot less than the Byredo palette. You get more product in the Byredo palette, and there's more shades. But anyways, the mattes and the shimmers to me are better across the board, like, than the Byredo one. So I just don't, like, I don't see the purpose in it. I would rather just have a Viseart palette. But yeah, I feel like I have more, there's more of a foiled metallicness to the shimmers. Viseart shadows wear really well throughout the day. Like, I just think this is way better. This is in this category mainly because it doesn't go, I don't have as much contrast. It doesn't go as deep as I personally prefer. So that's what keeps it from the love category. But I do think this is a really good palette. And what I like about Viseart's palettes is that they are magnetic, so you can move shades around. So if I wanted to combine this with darker shades from another palette with them, I absolutely could do that. Next category, we have palettes that I love. And this is where you're going to see the bulk of the palettes for today, which I think is good. So first up, we have the Trixie Cosmetics Horse Girl palette. I really, really like this palette. I debated putting it in the Holy Grails because I do think these particular mattes blend so easily, and the tones I love. But I don't know. I'm torn. It could be a Holy Grail, but there's palettes with better shimmers. I'm just like, I don't know. It's really good though. I really like this. You might see it in a Holy Grail if I use it again. It's perfect for summer too. Like right now, I'm loving this. Anyways, that being said, if I'm torn on that one being a Holy Grail, just know that the next three I am also torn on being a Holy Grail. And honestly, the next three palettes I could probably interchange depending on the day. First up, we have the BellaBeauteBar Secret Garden palette. I do have a code with BellaBeauteBar. It is KATELYNHOUSEMAKEUP, and it will save you 10%. It is affiliated, so I do make a small commission if you use it. But this palette is so freaking stunning. It is actually the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. And I love it. I really love it. I love a pink and green color story. I love that it has neutrals in it. The shimmers are great. I just freaking love this. I don't know. That's like where I'm at. I mean, honestly, like this one could be a Holy Grail as well. I don't know what prevented me. I felt like, I don't know. I don't know. Next up is the Coastal palette from Simply Posh. I do have a code with Simply Posh as well. I believe it's Katelyn. All of my codes will be on the screen. Obviously, you already saw them, and then they're also in the description box down below. Anyways, I was gifted this palette in PR as well. Again, no obligation to post. I love Simply Posh's palettes, though. This one, I could definitely see becoming a Holy Grail just because the tones of like this row in particular are unique to my collection. They look good on my skin tone. I can just see myself reaching for this quite a bit, especially in the summer. The duochromes are gorgeous as always. I think this is a really, really, really nice palette. I love their matte formula, love their shimmer formula. This is the only other new palette for me for the month of May. Look at me. I only bought one eyeshadow palette in May, and then I was gifted one. So I would have technically bought two if I was purchasing. Anyways, I probably should have just stuck with the Simply Posh one. Next up, we have the Adept Cosmetics Cyborg Choir palette. And like I said, honestly, all four of the palettes, Horse Girl and then these other three, could have been Holy Grail favorites. That just felt like a lot. And then for like 8 palettes to be like, okay, so 5 are Holy Grail favorite. You know what I mean? But anyways, and then the like I said, the Adept palette, the Coastal palette, and the Secret Garden palette, kind of interchangeable. But anyways, here's the Cyborg Choir. I just love and adore these shimmers. I do like the matte formula in this palette. I didn't have any issues with it, but I find myself pairing these shimmers with mattes in other palettes because they're just so beautiful. So I put together, I actually have paired it with the Simply Posh, or not the Simply Posh, sorry, the Sigma Cool Neutrals palette. Made me like that palette a lot more, let me tell you. I think I also paired it with the Horse Girl palette at one point. But anyways, This palette is so beautiful, especially those shimmers with neutral creases. Gorgeous. Last up, we have one palette that is in the Holy Grail favorite category because that's what felt right when you're only ranking 8 palettes, and that is the Ensley Rain Groovy Garden palette, another brand that I have an affiliate code with. I don't know what the code is. I think it's KATELYNHOUSE. I don't remember. Anyways, I purchased this myself. Just because I have an affiliate code does not mean that I'm gonna rank something higher or lower, whatever. Like, I am giving you my honest truth here. I love this matte color story. I love, love, love it. I love it. Like, if you took out all these shimmers, this would still be a Holy Grail favorite. I love this matte color story. I love the performance of these mattes. They are far and away the best thing ever. And then you have these shimmers, which are gorgeous. They're good. They're beautiful. They're lovely. I will say, if I had like one critique, I'd probably wish that we changed like one of these shades to maybe another lighter shimmer. But that's just my personal preference. I prefer lighter shimmers to darker base shimmers, but at the same time, they're not like exactly the same. This one flips more green, and this one doesn't. So you do still have variety in the shades. So that's just like, if I was getting real nitpicky, that's what I would change. But I don't care. Like I said, you could get rid of the shimmers and this matte color story is still a Holy Grail favorite for me. I absolutely love it. I think I mentioned that I love a pink and green color story, and this is basically pink and green, but make it muted, and I love that. But yeah, that was all of the palettes I used in the month of May. I used the Coastal palette and the Mineral Escapes palette the most at 3 times each, and then I used Secret Garden twice. So those were the palettes that I reached for the most, but you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. As you can tell, based on like, you only wear makeup 11 times, but there's 8 palettes. I doubled up on palettes on a couple of days. But anyways, that is it. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye!